This is KJ4WLH, and I'm going to start describing the problem that I've got with an Icom IC7100, 7600 and 9100 as well. I've had it for, well, I guess the 7600 was the oldest. And the challenge that I had was working digital modes. I get my speaker adjustment here, and when I want to go to transmit, I wind up having a real challenge with the resolution of the audio. In other words, I use the audio level to adjust the power output of the transceiver. And right now I've got it at a default of 50 in the Windows setting here. And I'm going to enable, let's see here, and do it on transmit even. So we're kicking in. I'm going into a dummy load. We're at 100 watts out. My ALC is horrible, and I'm going to try to adjust it down using the slider on this to get, less output. So I go all the way down to 2, then 1, and 1 gives me something looks like about 70 watts. Go to 0, and it's off. So I have a real challenge here using the default settings. And so what I've ended up doing is reading the fine manual. So I'm going to stop transmission right here, and I'm going to go into the set mode of the Icom, and I'm going to go take a look at the USB mod level. USB mod level is right here, and I'm going to adjust that down to about, I think I'm going to set it about 15. And this menu setting works obviously in the 7100 like this, but there's the equivalent function also in the 7600 and the 9100. So now when I go over to transmit and I want to transmit enable on the odd, if I take a look, I've still got 50 sitting right here, but as I move it down I get much better granular resolution. So it's somewhere around 20, a number of 20 here. I'm doing about 20 watts out with the Icom, and I move it up to 22, 23, and I'm getting my 25 to 30 watts out. So my ALC is not moving, my power output is looking good. The same thing occurs, I'm going to cancel this and halt the transmit. I'm going to go ahead and cancel my JT65, and I will set the default back on the Icom to the 50% level that comes from the factory. Actually, let me just do it like this. Maybe. Default, and there we go, back to 50%. Okay, and I'm going to load up DM780. So I have HRD running here. Here comes DM780. And what I've found is, I'll keep the speaker level. I'll try to set that back at 50, just like the default would be, or a normal, basic setting. So I've got a, excuse me, I go over to my